What happens when you set the aperture and shutter speed, but then your image is still dark? Well, you change the ISO. Just like aperture and shutter speed, the ISO is a part of exposure. And today, I'm gonna go over that. So back when film cameras were still popular, ISO referred to the film's light sensitivity. And what that basically means is if the film was more sensitive to light, you'd need less of it to shoot a scene. Well, now you fast forward to modern day cameras, they have typically the digital sensors without film. Luckily, ISO still does the same exact thing. ISO comes in a range of numbers, and depending on what camera you're using, this range could get really big. However, I'm using a Nikon D3300 here, so my range is a little bit smaller. So what happens when you change your ISO number to a larger one? Let me show you. Right now my camera's at 1000, and I've changed it to 1600. Notice how everything in this room is brighter. Now I didn't open a window or turn on a light. The camera's just more sensitive, meaning it needs less light to process. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna turn down the ISO from 1600 to 800. So let me do that right now. There we go. So now it's darker, or it looks darker, but in reality, nothing's happened. I didn't close a window or turn off a light. That's how ISO works. Simple, right? But as with everything in exposure so far, ISO doesn't just change the light. It also does another thing. Take a look at this picture. Do you see all the specks in the frame? Completely ruins the image. See, that stuff's called noise. And noise happens when you push ISO either way too high or way too low. Now you know you don't like it, but how can you avoid it? In order to avoid noise, you'll have to understand that your camera works on a native ISO range. What that means is there's a certain range of ISO that produce the best images. In order to find out what your camera's native ISO range is, you'll have to go on Google and search it up. There's no other way to do it. But you have to remember this. Shooting within the native ISO range will produce the best images. And I think you know what happens when you go outside of the native range. Take a look at these two images. Notice how one is significantly more noisy than the other one. So the further away you get from the native range, the more noisy it'll get. Remember this, when you shoot outside of the native range, your images will get noisy. However, the further away you get, the more noisy it'll get. A quick word of advice, a noisy shot is better than no shot at all. So don't let noise dissuade you from taking a picture. Always get the shot. And that's pretty much it. ISO is the easiest of the exposure triangle. Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope this video helps your understanding of ISO. The next step for you now is to go out there and take images. So see you on the outside. Peace out.